My people, want you all on. We must find a way to stop the suicide in we country. Apache warrior, hey man, tell them why.
Oh my dearest friend,
My friends,
मत करना सुसाइड,
love and unity.
चाहे जितना मुश्किल आवे, तुम मत घबराना ना. Oh my dearest friend,
My friends,
मत करना
this for all the money like them when it's get out and I want you settle on yourself and build a foundation, right? Sure. What they not do, they make you
Good evening, good evening. Hey, welcome to the Caribbean Boys presentation of a mind-body connection. I wanted you guys to listen to that song all the way. It was done by my good friend Mr. Apache Warrior and Mr. Hemant Samaya from Suriname. They made it just for the Caribbean Boys because of what's happening in Guyana. Well, before we continue, let's say good evening to each and every one of you. And how was your day? If no one asked you today, how was your day? We're asking you, how was your day? And hello, Mr. Kenneth, how are you and how was your day?
Not bad at all. I rest today. Thank you very much.
You look very rested, I must say.
Thank you, rest today.
You know, but Monday is always a little bit hectic at work. For everyone, you're getting back from the weekend, there's so much work to pick up on.
Yes, but it's a holiday, so luckily at that.
Wow, well, I went to work, as you know. Andrew Prasad, good night to you. That's right, the editor of that video was the famous John from Queens. John did that video for us, the Caribbean Boys. Thank you guys very much. Hey, Miss Roxanne Walker Hamilton, happy belated birthday to you. And for a moment, I thought we were doing a silent movie, but then the sound came on. You know, some songs started out very slowly. So good night to my beautiful friend, Sonia Debadine. Good night to Vashti John, Mr. John Namat, good night to you. Yes, he is known as the Birdman, but he's also a spokesperson for us, the Caribbean Voice. Thank you guys very much. John, I hope you're raising that volume a little bit higher. Well, you know what song we just played because you commented on it. Thank you very much. Let's get into tonight's topic. Miss Khan, Jimmy, good night to you. Indira, how you're doing? Thank you guys very much. And we will talk a little bit more about tonight's topic with Mr. Kenneth Hiram, our Caribbean Voice spokesperson.
Oh Lord, well, thank you very much, Shanaz. Good to be here with you guys, and thank you for locking in with us tonight. I would like to say thank you very much for watching this program. Please continue to watch our program, like it, and share it. I would like to say good night to Mohini Bola, my little cousin in Hartford, Connecticut. I'm sure she would like to meet you too, Shanaz. She'd like to meet all you guys. And to Shalini Ramatar, Arvinda Kedarnath, Jayashri Sarju, thank you guys for locking it. And John, your friend, another John, thank you very much. Yes, I am the Birdman. As you know, I love birds, and I always I'm judged for birds. I'm always all over the country with birds. But you know, it's always a pleasure to sit with you, Shanaz, on a Monday evening to come together and do this program.
And recap on our previous programs we have been seeing around the world, and we thank you guys for sharing because you never know who the video could touch, who would really need the help. Hey Geeta, good night to you. Sunil Ken, how you're doing? The beautiful, beautiful. Hey, good night to Mr. Shabir Baksh, Vic Jagnaran, good night to you. Andre, how you're doing tonight? Namaste to the John from Queens, our own John from Queens. Indira, good night to you. And last week we got a lot of feedbacks. Thank you guys for sharing. Sharing is caring, and we love to hear from you guys. So do interact with us on comments. We will read it out loud. And yes.
So tonight we are going to talk about mindfulness, and you know, Shanaz, we know about mindfulness, but sometimes we really don't focus what mindfulness is. And what I want to say is that mindfulness, in a nutshell, it's what we're doing now. It's the now. It's like me and you, and for example, like we are doing this show tonight here, and it's like we are focused into this show. Our mind, our thoughts are not going anywhere else. We are not thinking how we're going to make an extra $1,000 tomorrow. I'm not thinking about what we're going to do tomorrow with the car or whatever it is. Right now, our focus is to bring in this show to you tonight, and we are not going to be distracted.
Right, so focus on one thing at a time. And on that note, I'll say goodnight to Mr. Suresh Sugrim, wonderful member of the humanitarian mission. Good night to you, Steve. How you doing? Chris Singh, thank you guys for sharing. We do appreciate all your love. Hey, the beautiful Mala Hari Prashad in Toronto. Good night to you. Say beautiful.
That's nice. That's good. Oh, but you know what we want to talk about a little bit before we start our program tonight is, you know, it's making the airwave that
in
little
Toronto.
girl, Toronto.
Well, Mala, I've seen so many folks sharing the headlines, and I read so far alleged, right?
You're right. I'm putting alleged because
everyone is putting, but no, he's not convicted as yet. So unless I missed something, well, he is an alleged.
That's correct.
So no fingers to be pointing. But if you guys could remember, he went to dinner with his daughter and that's just my thought. He went to dinner celebrating her birthday and Valentine's Day. So when you get back, you know, you're at dinner, you don't know what the child had for dinner, what allergic reaction you could have. You go to sleep. So these are all under investigation. Hey, good night to Mr. Richard David. This is still under investigation, so we shouldn't jump to conclusion. Let the PL Police Department do their job before, you know, singling out him. Now, your thoughts.
Yeah, from what I was hearing, reading, is that he killed her, allegedly. He killed her, and so, you know, I'm kind of worried about that because, you know, as parents, Shanaz, we bring our children into this world.
We
and
should be
supposed
protecting them.
Protecting them, not killing them.
Right.
And like you said, it's alleged, so we don't know what's going on, but we're just saying what the media is saying. And I think he probably tried to shoot himself. So what prompted me, Shanaz, why, if this happens, why really did he do this?
Mental health issues. I read a family member wrote an article on it, and
Really?
they said mental health issues, that's what we all need to focus on, as you know, to better ourselves. If you know a loved one going through depression or they need mental help, well, you need to get them, or you shouldn't leave your children with persons like this.
Exactly. So we don't know if he was depressed. The other thing I was thinking, if he had any problem with his wife. And I said, this is all, we're not saying these things happen. We're just like focusing to see what really could go wrong in this scenario. If he wanted to take, if his wife did something to him that he wanted to get back at the wife. So we don't know really what happened. But my heart goes out to that little child, 11 years old. She looked
Our sympathies are going out to the family and
Also,
friends, or everyone.
And so also to his wife, the mother who's surviving all of this. Could you know how difficult it is? And you know, you are a mother and I'm a father.
Right.
So how difficult it is for her to move on to her life. And I would hope that she would go and get some kind of help, because losing a child, Shanaz,
It is
a
indeed a
tough
very
thing.
painful.
So I hope that she would get some help. I see my aunt, Dolores Sigobin, is watching us. She said hello to you, to Shanaz. I know that sometime down the line you will meet her.
I'll be visiting Connecticut pretty soon, so I will definitely stop by. Hey, Arjuna Madre, good night to you. My beautiful friend Sonia Debedin wrote something, and we will have Mr. Kenneth read that out. Hey, Sonia, Kenneth is a very big fan of yours.
Well, Sonia, I was watching you the other night, and it was I was so glad I get to see you at least, and I'm sure some way down the line I will get to meet you in person. You know, I'm getting to meet all Shana's friend. I wanted to wish my phenomenal sister Sandra a happy, blessed 60th birthday, who is celebrating it with her gorgeous hubby in Cancun.
Well, big up to Cancun and you beautiful couple out there.
Yes, at this very moment, as well as my adorable and gorgeous hubby, who will be celebrating his birthday tomorrow. Well, happy birthday to your hubby, and I'm hoping, Sonia, that you have something special for this man.
She
that
does.
He will
She
not
always
forget you.
treats the people in her life very well.
I love you.
Very
I love
loving
you all.
person.
The best of myself and your three adorable children, Jackie, Michael, and Ashley. Many returns. So I'm hoping. I'm sure you're going to tell me what plans are after tomorrow.
I will tell her. I will tell Hiram the plans, but I know she has something up her sleeve. She always does, and her husband is a wonderful gentleman. So let's say happy birthday to your phenomenal sister Sandra, as she celebrated her 60th birthday in Cancun. Birthday greetings are coming from your beautiful sister Sonia, who I also adore as my sister. Hey, Mr. Danraj Sukram, good night to you. Usha, how are you doing tonight? Mr. John Nimmat, thank you very much. And yes, as we continue, let's say goodnight to Bibi Ahmad, our spokesperson and coordinator in Guyana, the Caribbean Voice Coordinator. Neela Pawaru, good night to you.
Oh yeah, Neela is on. Thank you very much, Neela, for locking in. So let's go and talk about mindfulness. It's always good for us, right? So we usually, but not always, mindfulness, as we know, is derived from a Buddhist teaching, and is the practice of purposefully focusing our attention on the present moment and accepting it without judgment. Okay, so like I said, it's that we're focusing into what we are doing right now, not about next week or next 20 years. We are living now, and let's see what's going to happen in this moment, and we are not going to do it in any kind of a judgmental way, right? It has been scientifically examined and found to be beneficial in reducing stress and aiding overall happiness, and has surged in popularity over the last few years. It can be practiced alone or with guide, either digitally or with human, and without extremely hectic lives, it can offer a quite a port of a storm. So what we're saying that learning mindfulness, it's good because in all your problems, that happen in life.
You cannot solve them one time. You shouldn't take all of it at once. Take it little bit at a time.
Yes.
And one day at a time, which we should say. Hey, good night to Mr. Ryan Ramsing, Isha Ali. Good night to you, Ruckman. How you doing? And Indira Rupa said, what about when he abused his kids? Well, it's all lead back to mental health issues.
Yeah, and we don't know what happened really. What's the outcome? How this all started. So for now, it's just superficial. We don't know. We're in the States, so we're just going off on what we're reading. So probably next week we should have much more.
We have a lot of folks in Toronto. They'll be keeping us up to date, but that is very sad. Abuse of any kind. Next week our topic will be elderly abuse.
Oh, yeah.
And abuse of any kind should be a no-no. We're not here to take advantage of others, whether mentally or physically. We should be here to love and help each other. Usha, good night to you. Good night, Mala. Mala wrote something. Let's read it. That is the beautiful Mala Harpershot of Toronto.
He was charged with first-degree murder. No new news as yet. We all are speculating on what his issues with mental health are, but we have to wait until his day in court to find out what other information. And I so agree with you, Mala. We cannot jump no gun. We don't know what happened. So until then, we can only talk what we know. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Yes. So, mindfulness, it can offer quite a port for the storm, but it's also important to remember that it can occasionally affect certain individuals in a negative way. For a few people, it can cause adverse effect, including panic attack, and even deepens depression. So, what we're saying that, thinking about mindfulness sometimes, it can bring out the worst in you. When you sit in yourself in a quiet corner, you go back to, for example, if you was raped, or abused in any way, all that could flash across your brains.
Mm-hmm.
So later on down the line, we're going to talk of how you can really do this and what's a good step to do this, especially if you were abused and like if you have PTSD, what you should be doing,
Coping mechanism, like you should be treating yourself so you don't constantly remind yourself of all that.
Yes, and how you can do it safely if you were ever abused. Negative experience will vary from merely being a natural emotional reaction to self-exploration, whereby the experience that arises can be pleasant or unpleasant, to the other end of the spectrum, where experience can be quite extreme, including confusion, delusion, paranoia, or depression. Sometimes we can find out self-ongoing thought and things throughout the way. So Shanaz, it's important that, as I said, you have to do, if you have any diagnosis or anything, do this with somebody who know what they're doing. Because if you could do it, it's like you opening a whole can of worm for your own self, and you may not be able to help yourself. Right?
Especially if you're going through something right now that's so important and you have so many other projects and you're trying to focus them on the same time, it could be overwhelming.
Yes. Since mindfulness leads to an unawareness of your own fear or fantasies, respective thoughts and anger, it can be mindfulness deeply disturbing for those of us with long-standing issues, and stress hormones can increase even when we are feeling more relaxed due to traumatic memories being raised. And like we said just now, a lot of people, and because I work with clients and patients who been abused years ago, who was in war and so on, you'll be surprised some of the things that come back to them later on down in their lives.
And that could be leading you to become alcoholic.
Yes, doing drugs and all these manner of things. This is why it's very important to be aware of the possibility, and if we do not have, if you have difficult memories, we should find an experienced mindfulness teacher who can help us to deal with these negative experiences without lasting effect, and to remember that we are not alone in sometimes having negative, difficult thoughts. It doesn't mean that we have necessarily practiced it badly. We should not blame ourselves. So what you're saying, right, Shanaz, if we know that we have all these problems, PTSD, depression, and so on, we should go get a therapist who could help us with mindfulness, that in case anything comes up, they will know what to do with us and how to navigate you to get treatment and to get more advice.
Well, when we talk about treatment, a lot of folks come to mind thinking, okay, the first thing they'll do is put you on medication. They will,
Yes. Yes.
But I do believe there's lots of other ways they will be able to guide you as life coaches, right?
Exactly.
Sometimes we
so.
all need life coaches, and they'll be able to guide you and do something that's fit for your lifestyle, not necessarily just put you on a drug to keep you calm.
Exactly. So, it is perfectly possibility to teach ourselves mindfulness via apps. And now you get books, online guides. And for most of us, that it's fine. As we were saying, that nowadays now, Shanaz, you can go on the computer
And research
YouTube and get
everything. We have
everything.
all these resources at our fingertip tips. We should make use of it. Hey, good night to Mr. Reggie Rowana. Thank you very much for your input, Mr. John Nimat Mohini Bola from Connecticut. Good night to you. Indra, how you're doing? Good night to you. And the beautiful Maharani Dubey, good night to you. Good night to our family right here on Island Zone Radio. DJ Fest is always very helpful to us. DJ Fest, good night to you and your loved ones. And
Yeah. Thank you, DJ Fest. I talked to him on Facebook the other day, and thank you very much for giving me this opportunity. Thank you for allowing us to use your platform, Island Zone Radio.
Island Zone Radio. Keep us locked 24/7 as we play very entertaining music all day.
Good evening, Maharani Dubey. She's a special friend to all of us, so I'm glad you're locked in tonight. And your shrimps taste nice that you sent today. She sent some shrimps, and God, it tastes really good.
He's talking about dinner, and I didn't have dinner as yet. Andre, good night to you. Mike Adam, how you doing? Shaikar, good night to you. Sin, how you're doing? My beautiful friend Sonia Debadine is locked on, and I must say, Sonia is a wonderful friend.
But if we're suffering from any clinical issue, illness, or stress to the extent that our everyday life are disabled, then a good teacher can make all the difference. It is so true. Sometimes, Shanaz, you go and you meet a good clinician, you meet a good doctor, a good therapist, and that would make all the difference. They sit down, they listen to you.
You're getting it out.
You're
getting comfortable. They know how to talk to you. At least they'll understand you. Most of us think that, why talk to you? You wouldn't understand my situation. They are trained to understand your situation.
Yes, and especially when you meet someone that's very nice who can listen to you. And all that
sometimes, as you say, all you need is an ear.
Yes.
And expressing yourself. Well, let's say our heartfelt and deep-felt condolences are going out to Detective Brian and his family, Brian family, I should say, of the 102 precinct. One amazing soul they have lost, and that was really big on the news on Atlantic Avenue.
Yes.
So yes, our condolences are going out to Detective Brian's family of 102 precinct, coming from your beautiful friend Sonia Debadine. Prayers are going out to his phenomenal wife and children, all his brothers and sisters in blue.
Yeah, we would like to say on behalf of the Caribbean Voice, we extend to your family our deepest sympathy. We hope that you find peace, and may God find a resting place for you.
And if you do need someone to talk to, reach out to us, the Caribbean Voice. It's hard losing someone so dear to us,
Yes.
the breadwinner, father of your kids, husband.
So.
It's not an easy situation. Selena Ivan, good night to you. Anita Khan, how you doing? Mr. Mahabir from Mahabir Records, good night to you. Auntie Usha, thank you very much. And we will continue with Mr. Kenneth as he's trying to get us all to be a little bit more mindful.
Yes. And you talking about that, I was thinking about Mahabir Records. I was there the other day. I looked for him, but I didn't see him. But girl, I buy some Solara from that store, and it was so tasty and delicious. I shouldn't have eaten, but I eat like 2 of them. But it was fresh and nice. So thank you very much, guys. And I hope that I get to meet you, because, Shanaz always talk good things about you. And I hope to get some fruits too. To buy some from you guys. I bought some Aurora from him the other day.
Oh,
and
wow.
It was so sweet.
That is Mahabir International Trading on Hillside,
Yeah,
Jamaica Avenue, 211 on
Yeah.
Jamaica Avenue. Thank you guys very much for supporting us. Hey, Fozzie, how you're doing? Thank you guys very much. Shiloh, good night to you.
When we understand that disability may arise through sadness or through emotional disturbances such as anxiety, then clearly it becomes vital that we use a guided mindfulness practice that take us through it. Like I said, online apps, for example, are ideas for most of us who wanted to learn more about mindfulness, but there is very little adaptation to individuals' need or problems, and therefore they are not such a good idea for those who would benefit from experience supervision. So like I said, always go to somebody who has some experience who could help you out through this journey.
That brings me to an episode I'm watching. It's called The Punisher, and that is because it's based on a lot of army folks who went in the army.
Right.
And the post-traumatic
PTSD.
stress,
PTSD, yes.
it's causing them to do a lot of crazy things. So we all need to deal with it and reach out to somebody. I mean, you guys could watch it, The Punisher, and it's really very interesting.
Wow. Well, so much people went to war recently in a couple of years.
Yeah, I have a friend personally, and he have nightmares when he's sleeping, waking up from being what's happening in Iraq and whatever it is. He's like horrified.
Yeah, so I'm going to share a story with you sometime down the line. I hope I don't forget it, with one of my patients that I saw many years ago. Despite all this, though, the benefits of mindfulness outweigh the risk of occasional adverse effect. As an example, when we exercise, we know that we are likely to live longer, be slimmer, have less risk of dementia, be happier and less anxious. We don't consider that what exercise really is.
What it does for us.
What it does for us. We are at risk for injuring ourselves, but 1 in 5 people will do just that. Not because exercise is bad, but because they haven't been through properly or not listening to their body. So what we're saying is exercise is good. Sometimes, Shanaz, people going through pain, their foot hurting them, but they still want to go and exercise. They're not listening to their body. So sometimes you have to listen to your body. And when you're exercising, and if you're going through
there's
pain,
a right
you need to
exercise for
stop.
every part of your body, and we talk about that. It's called physical therapy. So build up yourself.
Yes. We don't suggest to them that they stop exercising. We just suggest they find a good trainer.
Right.
That will make all the difference, right? And nowadays, you go anywhere, there's a lot of trainers all over the place.
A lot of trainers,
who
that's
can help
right.
you. Yes. Mindfulness, some mental health problems such as PTSD, as we were talking, bipolar, have a higher risk of adverse reaction from mindfulness. Those people with PTSD may find meditation too difficult, as you know, and we were saying that it could bring back their past, as it could recall traumatic memories. So this is another situation where it's important to have experienced trainer to facilitate the practice. So again, as we were saying, and they're emphasizing, if you have, and I'm going to emphasize too, that if you have a lot of problems, you have PTSD, try to get someone, and I'm sure there's insurance now that they pay for you to get all these things,
Right, it falls under healthcare.
Yes. Of course, some individuals may not know they have PTSD or another mental health problem until they begin to practice mindfulness. And so this may be another argument to ensure that if there is any doubt that we are suffering from an illness, disability, we should ensure we practice with an experienced teacher who is trained in the danger as well as the potential benefits.
So explain a little bit more to us, what is PTSD?
It's
Break it down.
post-traumatic syndrome. It's like, people who went through wars and so on.
It's a trauma.
It's a trauma. This happened years ago, like people who were raped and so on. Like, for example, it would be sometimes it could sit in them, and like you would say something now, or somebody talk about rape, and it triggers the whole thing, and they start to cry, and it's a sad thing for them to go through. So that's why they call it PTSD. Like these guys who went to war and so on, they went to war like 10 years ago, and now probably 5 years after, they're experiencing, like they're seeing all the things that they did back then 10 years ago now.
Wow.
So
and is that because they weren't coping with it at that time, or they didn't cope with it properly?
Well, it's sad when you have to go through all these things. Yes, the brain is wired nicely, but these pains, they could come back to haunt you. The things that you do in your years, they said karma. Sometimes these guys went to war, like they would go to war, and they will kill like 10, 20 people, and nothing happens to them. And next thing you know, now they will have to deal with it after a couple of years. So a good thing to do is to always, when they come back from war, it's good, and I see a lot of them who goes through this PTSD. So it's a very important thing that you seek help all the time. It's a good thing to try yoga. It would help. This mindfulness therapy, it is a good thing. It's a good thing to join a group. Practicing alone at home is fine, but it's important to have someone to go to if there is any difficulty, uncertainty, like I told you. Research organization. One thing you need to do, Shanaz, is that, because of all these things, it's good to go to a reputable organization, and you want to know that if this organization have anything to do, or what's their protocol. If something happened to you, let's say you start to go through all this pain, do they have a plan what they're going to do with you, or you will be there just suffering yourself, or they can send you to a hospital? So that's a good thing for them to do.
Or a
know
support
all these
group.
things. Yes, and that's why, yes, you go to a group and see how much they can help you.
Well, on that note, I know everyone is waiting for an oldie as we get our conversation going here. Let's raise the volume to DJ Run Crowd.
अब है जुदाई का मौसम, दो पल का मेहमान, कैसे न जाएगा अंधेरा, क्यों न थमेगा तूफान। अब है जुदाई का मौसम, दो पल का मेहमान, कैसे न जाएगा अंधेरा, क्यों न थमेगा तूफान, कैसे न मिलेगी मंजिल प्यार की। हे मेरे हमसफर, एक जरा इंतजार, सुन सदाई दे रही है मंजिल प्यार की। प्यार ने जहाँ पे रखा है, झूम के कदम एक बार, वहीं से खुला है कोई रास्ता, वहीं से गिरी है दीवार। प्यार ने जहाँ पे रखा है, झूम के कदम एक बार, वहीं से खुला है कोई रास्ता, वहीं से गिरी है दीवार। रोके कब रुकी है मंजिल प्यार की। ऐ मेरे हमसफर, एक जरा इंतजार, सुन सदाई दे रही है।
Hey, good night to Mr. John Nimmat. Hey, Fayuz Ali, good night to you. Usha, how you doing? My beautiful friend Sonia. Shiloh, Latif, good night to you. Good night to the famous John from Queens. Good night, Ryan Jeffrey. Harold Kumar, how you doing? Bella Mahabir said, in order to help yourself, you have to help others with the same problem. Trust me, it's giving is a type of therapy. Good night to you. Thank you very much for your comment. Auntie Doris Gear, how you doing? Thank you very much, DJ Fest. We just did that. Indira, how you doing? Usha, thank you very much. Old is gold, as they say. We have a very mixed selection of tunes tonight. Mr. Rampatop Singh, good night to you. And Sammy, how you doing?
सांवली सलोनी तेरी झील सी आंखें, इनमें न जाने कहाँ खो गया है मेरा दिल।
Hey, Mr. Aliana Zid, good night to you. Navin, Mr. Inderjeet Paul, good night to the new Lions Club, I should say. And I think Mr. Kenneth is trying to read Mr. John Nimit's comment there. It seems like you're trying to deal with stress.
Most men don't know what stress is when they are single, but after marriage they're getting stressed out. After they're stressed out, and after divorce they get PTSD. Most is gone. But John, you gotta put yourself in trouble tonight, here, boy.
I hope his wife is not locked on. He's good night to each and every one of you. Thank you guys very much as we continue with our conversation. Hi, Patrick. Good night to you.
Yes, be honest. If anything doesn't feel right or the practice is making us feel unwell, if we are experiencing anxiety, panic, or find that our mind is racing, we should seek help. Shanaz, a lot of times, we sit in our room or we by ourselves and our thought process is racing. We're thinking of all manner of things. It's always good to have somebody that you can talk to, like a good friend. And if you see that things are getting way beyond your control, you can always go and seek medical help or get a therapist and talk to them. Ensure that we have a relaxed attitude towards the practice. It's important not to put pressure on yourself. Always love yourself, and I always say that, don't put pressure on yourself. This world, and we always talk about friends, and during our show for the past couple of weeks, we always say it's always good to have somebody, Shanaz, who we can really talk to, who we can, when they have problems, we can listen to it, or when we have problems, they could listen to them. And you want somebody who can listen to you and don't put you in trouble, and don't go tell your story and all.
No, non-judgmental friend, as you could say. And yes, we at the Caribbean Voice are here for you guys. If you want to speak to any one of us, do reach out to us. We have qualified counselors around the world, especially in homeland Guyana. As we say, 5 minutes of your time could save a life. And remember, suicide prevention is everybody's business. Get involved by you sharing our link. You already being a member of the Caribbean Voice when it comes to sharing.
Yes, and I would like to say hello to Miss Patricia K2, my cousin's wife. She's watching from Guyana. Always a pleasant woman. Thank you very much for tuning in. Continue to tell all the family there to watch. Myself and Shanaz, we are on every Monday night at 8 o'clock.
8 to 10 p.m. Let's read the beautiful Bella Mohabir's comment. She said, I'm back from military and we've seen so many come back from the war zone with disorder.
People, please be aware. PTSD can be triggered by any type of traumatic event, for example, rape. And yes, and we just said it before, rape is a big thing that a lot of people go through with PTSD. A lot of people did shoot people in the war zone, and now they're going through after many years. So it's always good to keep an eye. If you have somebody a husband, a son, or whoever it is, or a husband, always keep an eye on them. You don't know what they're going through. Always keep them engaged, and if you see anything that's different,
reach out for help. And if you know you can't help someone, always get the professional, because you don't want to wake up with regrets tomorrow saying, I wish I could, or I wish I did something to help that person.
Yes, Kamala Balram, good evening. I didn't hear from you a long time, girl, but thank you for tuning in.
Auntie Fiza Rahim, good night to you. Sonia Debedin, we are due for coffee. Thank you very much. Indira, how you're doing? Thank you guys for sharing. Sharing is always caring. You never know who could hear the video or who could reach out to the Caribbean Voice for help thanks to your sharing. Yes,
ensure that we have a relaxed attitude towards the practice. It's important not to put stress on ourselves. Yes, as I said, don't put any stress on yourself. It is believed that mindfulness work in parts by helping people to accept their experience, including the more painful emotions, rather than react to them with avoidance and aversions. It is also becoming increasingly more common for mindfulness meditation to be combined with psychotherapy, especially cognitive behavioral therapy. So we are talking, it's good that you sit down and you're able to talk to your therapist, right? Without going and get any medication at the same time. And working in the healthcare field, we see sometimes some doctors, you go and talk, say something, the first thing, and I'm sure someone is going to write about it, they are ready to prescribe medication for you.
The easiest thing, just take the prescription pad out and let's write something.
What I find, and I'm as I'm doing these things for every Monday night, I'm learning so much too, Shanaz. And like I said before, I hope that you guys are learning too, and I'm enlightening you guys of some of the things. So I hope that we hope on this program that at least we could help somebody. At
That's
least one
right.
person
Share the video. You
every
never know
night.
who might need it. Angenique Mangal, good night to you. Thank you very much, Mr. Ryan. Auntie Doris Gear, thank you very much. And we'll have Auntie Nalini. Michael, how you doing? Thank you very much. My good friend, Mr. John Hassan Khan. And Neela, good night to you.
Oh, we got a lot of comments. And anyway, this development makes...
Well, we have to shout out to the Dominican Republic, the beautiful Margarita Arias. Good night to you from the beautiful Sonia. Jorge Sankar, how you doing? Jorge Sankar, on our last topic, we talk about pet therapy. He was about to get himself a pet so he could take a walk in the park, because believe me, pet therapy works. Sherry Love, good night to you. Angela Ramsaran, good night. She said Fest is the best. Fest is always the best. Rishi Hanuman, how you doing? Thank you guys very much for sharing. Sharing is caring.
And then we got Angela Ramsden, who has a black cat. You know, she always talks about that black cat. But that girl is trouble in a good way. Angela, me and her, we went a far way. We always tease each other about a black cat, okay? And then I see Mr. Marjorie, thanks for tuning in. Mr. Waterflow, thank you for all what you're doing, sir. Your songs, we enjoy them. You know, great guy, good songs.
That's right. He made a song just for Caribbean Voice about suicide. We played that last week on our opening of our show. Terry Denai, good night to you. Good night, Mr. Flo. John Namat. Linda Singh. Where is Linda Singh?
Yes, and Ahmad is, I think I saw her earlier. I think she was working or something. Who else we miss here?
Guys, if we miss your comments, do keep them coming.
Yes. This development makes sense with both medication and CBT aim to help people gain perspective on irrational, maladaptive, and self-defeating thoughts. So, mindfulness, to go back to the original question, is it always good for us? Well, clearly the answer is no, not in all cases. Because what we talked earlier about, Shanaz, it's sometimes, for some people, it could raise a lot of things who have PTSD, could cause a lot of problems. So, yes, for most people, it's going to work. But for the majority of us, it's clearly that practicing mindfulness can lead to a more productive and positive life outcome. And there's been a lot of recent research on what effect it can have on the brain. Right, the brain ability to change and adapt over time. This happens constantly as the brain works to make itself more efficient and effective. When we complete a new task or find a more effective way of doing something, our brain takes notes and often makes structural or connection changes in order to facilitate our next attempt. And when we practice mindfulness, our brain noted it, and that we are more effective at dealing with everyday tasks when we are aware, observant, non-reactive, and non-judgmental, and thus proceeds to making a change that will improve our ability to function mindfully. Amazingly, right? There are so many amazing benefits to practice mindfulness, that's overall. The reason not to practice are far outweighed by the positive outcome. So what we are saying now, Shanaz, no matter whatever we're going through, it's always, if we do mindfulness, it's good for us.
Overall health.
Overall health, it's good for us. And so it's a good thing. So I would encourage all of you guys to go and try something different. Do some mindfulness. Like I said, it's like whatever we are doing, in a nutshell, we need to focus on what we are doing. If we are driving to work, let's focus on driving into work. And you know, sometimes, as I tell you, I'm like a human being like everybody else. Sometimes I'm leaving home in my car, I'm driving, and I start to pray. And then I'm thinking, oh Lord, I have to go with Shanaz on Monday night. You know what I'm saying? So
you're already
like,
there,
thinking,
you're thinking ahead, and that can really stress you out.
And then sometimes I try to say, well, you know what, oh God, let me start to continue my prayers again. So, it's different.
You're disrupting your thoughts, see?
So what we are saying with mindfulness, stop, like the horse have that thing across their head. Let's be like
Focus.
that. Keep the focus
on
driving. Or whatever we plan to do, let's focus on that.
If you're praying, keep your head straight, prayers.
Yes.
And on that note, we'll say goodnight to our own Guyana actor, our own star by Mr. Mahadeo Shivraj. Good night to you. And I know he came last year to support the Caribbean Voice. He donated a bunch of his videos, which you guys can purchase online or reach out to him and, to raise funds for the Caribbean Voice. Mr. John Namat said Black Cat is bad luck. Hey, Anthony Prasad, good night to you. Good night to each and every one of you locked on to Shanaz and Hiram Mind Body Connection, presented by the Caribbean Voice every Monday 8 to 10 p.m. Malini, good night to you. Yes, we give a shout out to the beautiful Margarita from Dominican Republic. Thank you guys very much for tuning in. As we said, we love your love, and we love your support. Thank you guys for continue doing that.
And talking about that, Shanaz, our first program actually is going to reach near 16,000 viewers. I'm keeping a tab on it,
and what is more spectacular is that it's still reaching others, and they're contacting us about our topic. And Horace Sankar said he solved his driving issue. He started taking Uber. That was stressing him out last week. And we talk about stress, and he started taking Uber. So I'm glad we helped you, Mr. Horace Sankar. Neela Pawaru, good night to you.
Yes, and you know, Shanaz, I have so much things that I plan to say tonight. I'm going to try to
narrow it down
to some of the important things. You know, I said, and if you see that I'm going fast, guys, please bear with me, because I want to share all these good things with you guys.
And
so that
feel
you can
free to put repeat, and he'll repeat it.
Yes, and I'm going to get to Neela's point somewhere down the line. You know, health benefits of mindfulness for kids and students. You know, even children, we want to help them to teach them of mindfulness in life. You know, buffer against bullying and depression. Mindfulness can even help kids dealing with bullies. Chinese studies on bullying, victim, and depression show that mindfulness can protect children against depressive symptoms that can arise from being victimized by bullying. Okay, so always good to help your children, teach them. And you know, the good thing to do is that, and we're gonna talk about it later on, is that when we are home and we're trying to do mindfulness, bring the kids in, let them see what you're doing, and let them learn to do this for themselves. So you start them young.
But as we say, children are very good at copying, and they're mimicking everything we do as adults. So if they see you not being mindful about your actions, they will be copying that, and you're already leading stress onto their young lives.
Yes.
So if you're doing something right, remember, they're watching you, they're observing, they are a sponge, and they will do everything that mommy and daddy is doing. So if mommy could do 5 things or multitask, they would want to do the same thing.
Exactly.
But they don't know the pressure that mommy is going through, and that can raise your blood pressure.
I want to talk to you a little about, Shanaz, mindfulness and love. And it's not going to be hard. It's going to be easy
That's
for us.
my favorite topic, love.
Love? Let's go. You know, mindfulness and love, it shouldn't be really take a holiday or a birthday, you know, around before, and to remind us to stop and reflect on the relationship you value the most in your life. Whether it's be a colleague, a friend, a lover, or a spouse, you can always benefit from taking a step back, appreciating the love you have in your life, and making the time to show others you care for them. You know, you have your love.
Most of us wait until Valentine's Day to bring flowers or bring a cup of coffee for your loved ones. That's not it. Valentine's Day is every day, but it's good to be a little bit more extensive when it comes to once, you know, now and then. But every day you should celebrate love. Every day, and I said it on my TV program over and over, make time for your loved ones. If you don't make time, who else will?
Exactly. So I'm talking about love, you know, Shanaz. You know, we're going to deviate a little bit for now, not for too long, but talking about love. It reminds me of our friend in Florida, Mr. Nadan, and his wife, Kamini.
Good night to Mr. George Nandan, a spokesperson for the Caribbean Voice, and his beautiful wife, Kamini. Good night to the singer, Omay Singh, as he rocked the stage in Toronto. I heard. Big up the Chutney Glow in Toronto, and the founder, Mr. Sham Talak. Sham Talak is a wonderful supporter and a member of the Caribbean Voice also. And I'll sing Happy Valentine's Day to you, and every day should be Valentine's Day.
Yes, I'm talking about the guy that sings in Canada,
Mr.
Omay Singh. Yes, I always dance to his songs then, because when I'm driving, I listen to his songs, and it has a good beat. He and I forget the girl that sings with him. Sushma. Yeah, I listen to them when I'm in the car. And
so I'll you, Mr. Omay Singh put a few links, so you know, Mr. Kenneth here will be listening to your tune as he's driving home. Let's say good night to the founder of the Caribbean Voice, Mr. Anand Budram.
Yeah, thanks for tuning in, Mr. Budram. So, again, don't wait until Valentine's Day to come to show your wife or your husband or your loved one that you really love them. You know, take the time to care for them. When you are mindful of love in your life, you open yourself up to the opportunities of love to grow and flourish. And not just romantic love, but self-love and love friendship as well. You know, You know, the thing what I notice, I can tell you from my life, you know, the more I give Gita love, the more love I
You
get.
give and you receive, right?
It's a beautiful
It's a
thing.
two-way street.
Yeah, it's a two-way street.
And Mr. Ryan said every day shouldn't be Valentine's Day because we'll all go broke. Well, the little things you do cost nothing.
But sometimes, Ryan, you don't have to buy flowers every day. You a good kiss, you know.
Making a cup of tea, taking out dinner,
Yes,
you know,
yes.
putting on a good movie that she will enjoy. These are all little things that, you know, very thoughtful. Danny, good night to you. Suresh, how you're doing? And yes, Malini wrote a paragraph there, and Mr. Kenneth will be reading it.
Good night, you awesome individuals. I am a counselor here in Orlando. You guys are always talking about things I emphasize with my patients. Thank you for sharing. Love that word is getting out. Yes, thank you very much for acknowledging that, though, because the truth is that the truth of the matter is that's what we want to do. We
Awareness.
want to be able to bring it to you. And you know, Shanaz, I was driving and I was thinking. I do a lot of thinking when I'm driving, and I'm like, you know, sometimes we make mistakes on the show. I stumble sometimes. But what I'm saying, you know what? If I said 50 things and you can get
One of
40
them
or
or
one
four.
of them,
Mhm.
I am so glad,
Right.
because, you know,
Right.
like, none of us are
And
perfect.
as we said, we're not perfect. We're learning, and we're trying to get something out for you.
Yes, yeah, we want to help you guys, and we doing it wholeheartedly, and we do look forward to do this every week. And I feel so honored every time that I go to the computer. I'm trying to pull information, so what could be useful
Right.
for our audience.
What they
I'm
need the
so
most.
glad, and sometimes it takes more than 5-6 hours, but it's such a wonderful thing for me to do. It's such an honor to serve humanity, to do good, to bring out the good in people, and it also
And to share your love.
You know what I find too, Shanaz, and I'm like thinking about you the other day, and I said, you know, I always think about you and say all the good things about you. And the thing that I was saying is that, you know, we complement each other and we bring out the best of each other. And that's how things should really be in life. Let's
Everything.
help each other. Let's
Empower
uplift
each
You
other.
know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like I said, Shanaz is my anchor on this boat.
Uh-oh.
All right?
And
So-
we're not sinking. We're going to
We
sail.
we got to sail, yes.
And on that note, I'll say good night to Mr. Anil Singh as he recently joined Island Zone Radio. Good night to all the wonderful DJs we have on Island Zone Radio. Ryan Jeffrey said a kiss is good. And Navin said making roti is showing love. Well, everyone would love roti, doesn't they? Auntie
Well-
Hasina Bano, good night to you.
Well, we have to tell Navin, thank you very much for your tea last week. It tasted good. And guess what? Today, when you called me, I said I wouldn't get no tea today. But guess what? Your son made some nice orange flavored tea. So that's a good
You
thing.
see, he's learning from his dad. He's
Yeah.
learning.
Oh, that's a good
Ryan
thing.
Jeffrey said, I miss my wife. She give me a broom to do walk every day. So when she's not home, you're on vacation, Ryan. Enjoy that time. Neela, good night to you.
You said taking out the trash is always a bonus. That's a good thing, you know. And you know, let me go and say this too. For the men, let me say this very how do I put this? I can't emphasize so much that when you get your husband and he's doing these things for you, like taking out the garbage.
Oh,
and
yeah, you feel
doing
like a
things-
princess,
Yeah,
you
but
know?
guess what, Shana? It's always good to go and give the husband a nice little compliment. Oh,
Thank
thank you,
you.
honey. Thank you for taking out the garbage. I
And
mean, you
sometimes
don't
we
have
all
to.
take it for granted that we don't realize that, you know, this person did so much for me today.
Yeah,
And
we
when you
all
sit
do
down,
that.
you said, thank you, you know.
A
You
little-
always make my life a little easier.
A little kick in the ego takes us a far way.
Far away.
So
Hey,
don't
Annie,
forget.
Dicky, good night to you. Jorge Sankar, thank you very much. That's a very funny
I
one.
miss my wife, and she gave me. I couldn't read that.
Mr. Jorge Sankar said, my friend brought home Valentine's gift, and
his wife slammed the room door. Wow.
That sounds like a movie with Amitabh Bachchan, so don't pull that line. Good night to Angela Ramsaran.
While you're doing that, let me close this off up. It says, to start with self-love, to begin, you must love yourself first. We often reject other people's care or attention when we believe we don't deserve it. But there is nothing special you must do to deserve love. You know, it's simply because you exist. You know, again, I'm going to say, always think good about yourself. Always love yourself. You come first. And if you can't put yourself first, then it's sad. So go ahead, think about yourself. As we talk about mindfulness, think about yourself, how you can help yourself, love yourself first. And you know, when you got love, you can give. And as we said last week, you know, if you don't have love, you cannot give love.
You can't give something you don't have. Vanessa Matura, good night to you. Brand new release last week. Put it up on my Facebook wall as we enjoy it. And the famous John from Queens said, Dr. SMS is better than Dr. Phil. Hey, when you have love, you could treat anything a little bit better, right? Anil Singh, good night to you. And let's read Neela Pawaru's.
This ship is not sinking with captain like you guys. Well, thank you very much for the kind compliments. You are very generous with your words. And yes, we are here and we're going to continue doing great things for you guys. Angela Singh saying what? Anyway, it's gone.
Fazi Rashid, good night to Eli Prasad, Angela Ramsaran, Anil Singh, thank you very much. Annie Dickey.
If you cannot give me roses every day, why on my Valentine's? Well, you know what? I think not every day someone will have the time to go and buy roses. I think if we have to put love, and please don't take it anyway, if we have to put love to material things, price and love, it doesn't make sense, because to be the truth of the matter is that sometimes I don't buy Gita anything. But when I get up in the morning and before I close my eyes, I say I love you, honey. And I'm not saying that me and Gita don't fight sometimes.
Right.
We do fight.
Right.
We are human beings. But always, like, I always
show appreciation in other ways. Right. Expressing your love could be, less expensive than you think of. David Prasad, good night to you. Hey, good night, Mr. Wayne Ford. How you doing? Maharani Dubey, good night to you. Yes, he is happily married, but he still loves to share his love, because love is the easiest gift we have to give and the most inexpensive gift.
That's correct. That's correct. And you know what? Another thing while I was doing this papers, I'm like, what's good that we can talk about? How we can really share. And I really wanted to talk about relationships so much, because we see there's so much people struggling in their relationship. Mindfulness in relationship. In recent years, the practice of mindfulness has taken the health world by storm. Now, several studies have proven that mindfulness can greatly improve the quality of your relationship. But what it is really mindfulness exactly? How does it benefit your relationship? And how can you practice it? If you don't know, listen. Mindfulness is the practice of being present, that we said, present in our now. We often are simply going through the motion of our day-to-day lives. When we are mindful, we pay attention to the thoughts and feelings we normally ignore. Like we're saying, if you're driving, pay attention to what you're driving. If you're eating, focus that you don't eat that bowl.
Minute, right? The minute you're spending eating, focus on that.
We get more and more in touch with our own inner selves, and we do it throughout the day when we are eating or just walking from place to place. Sure, mindfulness can induce the meditation practice, and many experts recommend that it does. But it's more about bringing the benefits of meditation into the framework of our everyday life. Some relationship benefit of mindfulness includes, the following. You know yourself better. Being mindful involves a lot of self-introspection. You will pay attention to your own thoughts and feelings throughout the day. All of that leads to knowing yourself better, when in turn leads to better romantic relationships. So it's a good thing to know yourself better, Shanaz. The more you know yourself, it's better for you, and you go out in the world and you act differently. Since our show, I have grown so much tremendously after reading all these things too, and I'm sure you are growing too when we learn all these things.
It's awesome knowing that folks appreciate what we're doing and bringing awareness. The Caribbean Voice, suicide prevention is everybody's business, and 5 minutes of your time could save a life.
Yes, and you fight less. We create stories about our partner's behavior, so a fight about dishes can easily involve an argument about how you don't contribute equally to the relationship. When you're mindful, you focus on the present situation as we have said. In other words, you recognize the situation as separate from the stories you're creating, about your partners. So your fights are less, So what we're saying now, sometimes I see people fight for little things, Shanaz, and it really doesn't make a lot of sense. Even
we nitpick at things, and I don't believe as women alone does that. Women, they said, love to nitpick, and the littlest thing, they will see it and they will bring it out. Do something really big, they wouldn't notice it.
Exactly so.
But do something wrong, very tiny, and they will notice that small wrong you did, but they wouldn't notice the whole big right you just did for them.
And we're talking, we are learning from each other. Some time ago, I like to use scented candles, and so I know I cleaned this room, and I was taking care of it. I buy flour, put it inside. I'm like,
that's your therapy room.
Yeah. And even to that, you know, and this individual, like I would wait for her to come home and, you know, no, it's time out, not Gita. And like I would wait for her to say, "Wow, the house smells nice. You did a good job. Wow, fantastic. You cleaned the bathroom. You did everything." And like I haven't done anything. I says, "Wow, can you believe this?"
Unappreciated.
It's not. Oh, yeah,
It was
like,
unappreciated.
and I was waiting. Not that I wanted something, and I've grown since then.
Wow.
I have grown tremendously. So those things doesn't really mean what. Acknowledging your partner, your
Efforts,
husband, your wife,
the little
effort when he
efforts
did-
they're
like when you
making.
could, wow, the house smelled nice. It looked different. Hey, what happened?
Right,
You know,
right.
like we need to boost each other emotions up sometimes. You know, the little thing counts. You know what I'm saying? You fight less. We create stories, as we were saying. So fights about dishes. It doesn't make sense we fight for these little things. Sometimes you fight, you don't talk for a whole week or a whole 2 days.
And when you think of the situation, why you're fighting to begin it, it was so silly, but yet you drag yourself to be angry at that person at that time.
Yes, yes.
So now, do we need a mediator? Do we need a mediator at that time to come in and say, you know what, Kenneth, you should have done the dishes?
Yeah. But you know, I try to do little things too sometimes with a little dish, or but we got so much people in the house. I really
We
don't
take
do.
each other for granted, I would say, you know, because you know they're there for you. They will help you. So you don't think of saying thank you sometimes.
Yeah, but a little thank you, please, and thank
It
you
goes a long
far
way.
away, yes.
It goes a long way.
You know, you understand your partner better when you're mindful. You are much more aware of the present moment. In addition to increasing your awareness of your own needs, you know, this also increase your awareness of your partner's need and how you may and may not be meeting them. So if you know, Shanaz, Navin likes you to do certain things, you make up the bed nice, you light a little candle on a Friday night, you set the room up nice, you know, it will take you far away. I'm sure that
Right,
he's
it's
gonna be so
appreciation,
happy.
right?
You know what I'm saying? And like I appreciate he you know, he when we
The
come here now,
thoughtfulness
yes,
and the hospitality.
we get our a little tea when we get
Right.
here. You just
That
came in
is
from work. I came in.
much appreciated.
Yeah, yeah. So we talk, and then we get a nice cup here. You guys could see it here. You know,
Good night to my friend Mr. Rashid Bacchus. Maharani Dubey said, yes, he does have a lot of stories, and that's what's all about, sharing, you know, sharing our stories with you guys. You could share back with us. Kishan Prasad, good night to you. Annie Dickey, good night to you. Thank you guys for your love and continued support. Join us every Monday right here, 8 to 10 p.m. on Island Zone Radio.
yes, and you know, Maharani, to be very honest, I was thinking the other day, one of the thing that made me who I am, the man that I am today, is because of I went through a lot of pain, a lot of difficulties in my life from a young boy. It was tough, and that will really define who I am really. And I can look in the mic and say that made me such a great human being. I give myself my own praise because I know the man I am, and I'm not perfect, to be very honest with you. I have sinned, I have done wrong things in my life, but I'm so proud of the man I am today.
That every day is a new day to make yourself a little bit better and to learn. Hey, good night to the beautiful Bapsi Madramutu, Annie Tawari. Good night to you. How you doing? Thank you guys very much.
You have better sex. Oh God, talk about sex. Being mindful allow you to connect more deeply with your partner, with your own body, which all lead to better sex. And Lord Jesus, I have Shanaz. Lucky we have this camera here. I have Shanaz blushing up in this studio here. But you know what? We are having fun here, so that's a good thing.
I think you should mention it again. Auntie Razia Hussein is just joining us, so she didn't know what you were talking about.
So Razi, we were saying, you know, you have better sex. Being mindful allow you to connect more deeply with your partner and with your own body, which all lead to better sex. But I have your friend here. She is.
That's being a little thoughtful and a little bit more appreciative to your partner. It does lead to different things, you know.
And it's important, okay?
It is.
Oh, Lena is back. Yeah, I just thought of her. Hi, Lena. How you doing, my dear? Sorry, I can't get in the show. That's okay. We know you're going to watch it.
You can always watch the rerun on Island Zone Radio,
yes.
or the Caribbean Voice. Add us on Facebook. And we're glad Mr. Annan mentioned that in his comments going out to the mediator. As Mr. John Nimmat wrote, I'll get to that comment. Mr. John Nimmat wrote, sometimes a mediator have more problems to deal with than dealing with ours.
Then you need to fire that one.
And then Mr. Annan replied to him, well, then that mediator is not trained to be dealing with that situation, like counselors.
You know, you communicate better. Many of us don't say exactly what we feel to our partners. And I'm going to go deep into that in a bit. Sometimes this is intentional. We want our partner to guess our true feelings to prove they love us. Other times we don't realize that our words and feelings aren't quite matching up. When we are mindful, we learn to recognize, accept, and express our feelings as they are, all of which leads to better communication with our partners. You know, Shanaz, I'm going to say this, and I hope that somebody can learn from this, what this statement I'm going to say. If you have your husband and wife, please do not expect them to read your mind, to read your face. I always believe, and I always do this, I always tell my wife what I like, what I don't like. I always tell her when I'm saying something, I want you to listen to me, you know, in a nice way. I don't want you to
Pay
throw me
attention,
up,
basically.
pay attention to what I'm saying. And it's all about respect. It's going to take you a far way when you communicate with each other. Don't curse each other, and thank God we don't curse in our house. I mean, you know, but
That's showing disrespect if you could curse at your wife or your, you know.
Yeah. So
I know
always-
back in the days, guys, husbands are very unappreciative that they come home and the food needed a little bit more salt or a little bit of pepper, and they were so unappreciative they'll toss the plate. I've seen my
heard that's
neighbor
true,
did
yeah.
that.
Wow, and but times are changing now. Women are making themselves more marketable, and so they're having a voice for themselves, and it's called woman empowerment.
Women empowerment. Good night
So
to
it's a
Zach
good thing.
Razan, Auntie Maharani. How you doing? Razia Hussein. Yes, it's a love connection. It's our connection with each and every one of you, sharing our love, our stories, and we love your feedback. Please keep coming. Hey, good night to Mr. Narayan Dat Sukram. How you doing in Toronto?
Yes, guys, we are having fun to reading some of your comments. So yes, always communicate with your partner. Let them know what you like and what you don't like. Don't expect them
To be mind readers or thinking they have a magic ball that they could look into
Any
and
crystal
see
ball,
a
no.
crystal ball to see Hiram is coming home in a good mood tonight.
Yeah. I always come. Most of the time, I'm in a good mood coming in, and that's mindfulness, right?
Yes.
Yes. You know, you begin to heal in mindful relationship. You accept and express your feelings, even the painful ones. And you know, Shanaz, no matter what you're going through, sometimes, no matter how difficult it is, always let your partner know, you know, what is going on with you, and they will probably be more, have more feelings for you and sympathize with you.
And
you
a little
know.
bit more understanding, as Auntie Lene wrote, in a relationship it needs a lot of communication. We need a lot of communication, love connection. That's right, Auntie Maharani Dubey. Annie, good night to you. Neela Pawaru, thank you very much. She said that's why we have salt shakers.
Yes. So then you begin to heal in a mindful relationship. You accept and express your feelings, even the painful ones. Given the intimate nature of romantic relationships, this might even expose your deepest flaws and insecurities to your partner. It's a scary process, but if you are in love with your partner and your partner love you, you know, Shanaz, it doesn't matter to whatever. Love, I think, conquers everything. No matter how tough it is, always tell your partner what you feel.
And Auntie Razia Hussein said we now got her attention speaking on that topic, and she have a very good marriage, and she could give us all advice on how to maintain her healthy relationship. So guys, if you have something that will help a relationship, feel free to put your comments in our chat box as we'll read it. Hey, Jamil Ali, good night to you. Auntie Nalini, how you doing? I think we should go to an old song.
Yeah. We get carried away just now talking.
Let's read Mr. Anand Budram's comment as we get ready for our song.
I strongly recommend that all listeners do some research on mindfulness and start practicing it with your spouse, partner, or even your family members. Mindfulness boosts self-confidence, manages stress, make relationship functional, manages anger, and so much more. The Caribbean Voice strongly recommend urging everyone to start the process of being mindful. Beautiful. Yes, let's all start it. If not yesterday, let's do it today or tomorrow. Let's start mindfulness.
And I'll start by saying thank you for joining me here every Monday on the Caribbean Voice presentation of a mind-body connection, and thank you guys for joining us also on the airwaves.
Thank you very much.
And because you guys are locked on, you deserve some sweet melody. Let's go
We
to
should play a
Mr.
nice song, love song. But anyway, next.
Let's go to Mr. Jim Rees.
Just walking in the rain, getting soaking wet, torturing my heart by trying to forget just walking in the rain, so alone and blue, all because my heart still remembers you. People come to windows, they all stare at me, shake their head in sorrow, saying, who can this fool be, just walking in the rain, thinking how we met, knowing things have changed. Somehow I can't forget. People come to windows, they all stare at me, they shake their heads in sorrow, saying, who can this fool be, just walking in the rain, thinking how we met, knowing things have changed.
Hey, good night to the Caribbean Lime team in Toronto. Mr. Ramesh Ali, good night to you as they're celebrating Family Day. And yes, we should all celebrate Family Day. Joanne Kam, good night to you.
Oh, that's my friend Joan Kam from Puerto Rico, but she's here visiting. You know, I told you a couple of weeks ago that she lost her only daughter in Florida, and she she's having a rough time, and she knows exactly how it feels to lose a child.
It's very painful.
So, Joan, I'm always thinking of you. Don't worry.
Auntie Una Prasad, you're late, but it's better to be late than never. Thank you, Mr. John Nimas.
Understand, dear, every single thing I try to do, you're always there to lend a helping hand, dear. I love you most of all because you're you. No matter what the world may say about me, I know your love will always see me through. I love you for the way you never doubt me, but most of all I love you 'cause you're you.
Hey, Mr. Rajan Nimnat, good night to you. Auntie Nalini, how you doing? Rajan, it's been a while. Thank you for joining us here on Island Zone Radio every Monday, 8 to 10 p.m. Do join us. And then again, I'm back on Thursdays. Vinita Jador, good night to you. Folks, remember this session of Caribbean Voice is sponsored by Met Spa. Take care of your health care. Your health is your wealth, as we say week after week. And I know a lot of folks like working, but sometimes you need to just walk in the rain, as Mr. Jim Reese said. And we've been having a lot of rain in NYC right now. Don't forget to stop and smell the roses or take a walk. A walk is very healthy for you. Suraj Ramprasad, good night to you. And thank you very much, Mr. John. You can now watch the Caribbean Voice presentation of a Mind-Body Connection on our YouTube channel, and also John from Queens. And we are soon to be in Guyana.
You know, Shanaz, I can't believe that we only have half an hour more to go, so I will have to...
As they say, time flies when you're having fun, and we're always having fun here, reading your comments, making you feel better on a Monday night.
Yes, cultivate love. For too many of us expect to be hit with waves of love, but don't spend any time nurturing it. So practice caring and touching, practice being patient, Practice feeling compassion towards your partner and opening your hearts and mind to feel much love and kindness towards them. You know what, Shanaz? You have your partner, always practice love and give love, and you will get back love. It's not going to hurt you. And a lot, some touch here and there goes far. Of course,
A
I
hug.
love
Today is
touch.
hug day, I heard. Today is hug day. And every day is hug day because we all need that, to embrace ourselves sometime. We get in touch with ourselves.
And that's good. I don't know why, but I was hugging Gita a lot today. She came over,
So
she
maybe
gave a hug.
today's
So,
hug day. Auntie Una, I'm sending you an air hug. John from Queens, air hug to each and every one of you, including Mr. Rajan Nimnat, who is in the Sunshine State and will be sending us some water coconuts in our studio pretty soon. Good night to each and every one of you. The No Janjet group, Mr. Shabir Baksh, how you doing tonight? Bibi Hawk, good night to you. And all you guys who are locked on to us, even though you're at work, you could repeat our episode on Island Zone Radio on Facebook Live. Either one of our page, Caribbean Voice, Hiram, Anand's page, or myself. Do follow us on Facebook, Shanaz Hussein and Mr. Kenneth Hiram.
Ramprasad. I see Siraj Ramprasad join us. Thank you very much. I know he's on Facebook doing his music too, so that's a beautiful thing. Showing love. So be mindful in other ways. When you're mindful of other parts of your life, that's mindfulness will soon spill over into your relationship too. Whether it's mindful eating or regular meditation, try these techniques to add a little more to make your life a little more calmer. So, we have half an hour more to go. In other words, they're more mindful to you or the happier you. Mindfulness can literally transform your entire world from the inside out. And from a million mindfulness practitioners around the world, it's just doing that. If you haven't already, why not find out for yourself the first hand what it's all about? So a lot of practitioners around the world is saying try it. If you have never tried mindfulness, go ahead, give it a shot and see what a difference it's going to make into your life. You might just discover the most incredible and wonderful surprise that everything you've been researching for out there, feeling of fulfillment, peace and wholeness, have been within you all along. So we have this all along, but we are not focused
Expressing it, we're not
paying attention to it. You know what I'm saying? Because as long as I'm able to remind myself mindful, there's a deep peace and contentness that stays with you no matter what. Whatever happened to the surface of your life. I'm not saying that I'm perfect. There are still certain times in my life where I'm down and out, impatient or stressed. But fortunately, this doesn't happen very often. And Shanaz, no matter whomever it is, sometimes life could throw you a curveball that you don't know, even you or me. But we are the one who's going to be suffering. But it's good to know these kind of things. In fact, as I grow in mindfulness, negativity in all its expression, boredom, irritation, jealousy, anger, sadness, restlessness, regret, fear, self-consciousness, worry, and more, seems to be receding more and more from my experience of daily life. I used to sweat about small stuff a lot more. I was especially prone to impatience, regret, and stress. I was discontent without even knowing it, always trying to get somewhere instead of living in the here and now. So what we are saying is that you have to live in the here and now. Don't wait until next year or think about next year or what you're going to do. Think about now. You don't know. Tomorrow is not promised to any one of us. So that's why it's important that we live now. So what is the difference between now and then? How did mindfulness transform my stress, struggle, and discontent into a deep and consistent sense of peace? So you see, it's extremely difficult to be both grumpy and mindful at the same time. So decide which one you're going to do. Are you going to be practicing mindfulness or are you going to be grumpy? Negatively doesn't seem to creep in when you are in the mindset, of having a spiritual experience. Mindfulness, the vertical line, connects us to something deeper and more essential and sacred in our life. Mindfulness improves your emotion and social intelligence and develop your empathy and compassion. It is also shown to improve relationships. Mindfulness improves health and boosts immunity. In fact, mindfulness shows how the beneficial effect of many serious illnesses such as cancer and heart disease. Mindfulness creates clearer, more focused thinking and improved efficiency at work and at home. Mindfulness improves confidence and emotional resilience. Mindfulness reduces compulsive and addictive tendency and has been shown to work better than any diet or effective long-term weight loss. Mindfulness turns out to be the single most important determining factor in whether or not you will be happy in your life. So Shanaz, I want to tell you that we practice mindfulness is very important, that we do this. I would like we say again, go ahead and try mindfulness. There's so much beneficiaries in doing this that I'm sure that you will live a better life.
Start being a little appreciative towards everyone, not just your partner. Saying a little please and thank you goes a far way. And reach out to us, the Caribbean Voice, 718-542-4452. We are also on Facebook and in Guyana. So we have certified counselors ready to talk to your loved one. If you're struggling with depression, suicidal thoughts, child abuse, domestic violence, reach out to us, the Caribbean Voice, and we are there as a support group, and we'll give you all the guidance you need to making yourself and your situation a little bit better.
Exactly. So how mindfulness therapy can improve your mental health. Mindfulness can be a powerful tool in dealing with various mental health challenges and symptoms. Again, I said symptoms is what the patient feels, and sign is what you can see, right? So beyond breathing exercise, mindfulness means being fully aware of the facets of the body and mind. This helps in assessing intruding thoughts and emotional reaction. Mindful strategies. Okay, so Shana, as I said earlier, that I want to share something later on down the program, and here it is. A couple of years ago, I had a patient, and she was fighting so bad, and one of the policy is that if any patient fight, we discharge them. And I don't know what went into my mind, and she was fighting. She was so upset, and I went in and approached her, and I said, what's going on with you? I bring her in my office and I sit with her and I said, why are you so upset? What's going on? Talk to me. I am here to listen to you. I don't want to discharge you. It's easier for me to say, go through the door, I'm going to discharge you. But Shanaz,
you took
deep
5
down
minutes
her,
and you talked and you listened.
And I was so surprised that this patient, she nearly, I was tearing up after she finished. I felt so, I empathized with her, because what happened, she started sitting and she started to cry so hysterically, and she said, she said, nurse, if I be honest with you, that, and what she was going to do, she was going to fight with a patient. And guess what happened? She said, nurse, if I be honest with you, that, that my father raped me.
So it was just a reflection. It was coming back and start bothering
PTSD.
her.
She said, my father raped me. My brother raped me. My husband raped me. My boyfriend raped me. My son raped me. And Shanaz, I could not. Oh my God, I lose my own self. But I had to keep composed because all what she was saying, and she is like a PTSD attacker now. And I called the counselor, one of the counselors, and I said, you know what? I don't want us to discharge this patient. I want us to get the appropriate care that this patient really needs.
Discharging her is going to put more worse effect on her right now, showing
continue.
no one cared, and you don't know what it could lead to.
Exactly.
At least you were there.
She could go and commit suicide.
Right.
She can do all these things. So going back to say, like, 5 minutes of your time could save a life, and I was glad I was there, and I was able to intervene with her, and she was able to get the care that she so needed. And I know there's so much people around in this world, that's going through hard time in life. And I'm hoping in my mind that, Shanaz, that what we are doing here today, that we can touch somebody's life and help them in their journey. Because you and I know that this life is not easy. Every day is something different that comes into our life. Like I said, there's always a curveball coming, and we have to make ourselves market our own self, make ourselves strong, learn all these things that we are talking every week. Yoga, exercise, eat a balanced diet.
Sleeping is very important. We all need a quite amount of sleep. What, as a therapist and a counselor, what is your advice on sleeping? I know a lot of folks go on 4 hours of sleep.
Yeah, I was one person who was sleeping like 5 hours a night, and thank God I'm sleeping a little much more now. I'm not working like before, but sleeping is very important. It's always good to get at least 7 hours sleep, every 7 hours a night sleep. So you sleep, you wake up the next morning, and you are ready for the world. You wake up in a good
You're
mood.
prepared.
You know what it is to
And
wake
it's
up in a
resting
good
all
mood?
your nerves. You know, they said, you know, sometimes you wake up on the wrong side of the bed.
Mm-hmm.
It goes a long way because maybe meaning you didn't get enough sleep, so all your nerves are not rested.
Yes.
So now you become angry at any little thing.
And what happens when you're sleeping is that your body is regenerating, it's building all those things, all those nerves, all those whatever it is in your body that's destroyed. It's going to repair them back.
Right.
Nerves,
So
everything.
we do need
So,
our sleep.
Yeah, so it's important.
We do need to eat a healthy diet and a little bit of exercise. Don't forget to meditate weekly. Give yourself 10 minutes. If you
Yes.
feel like you're going through something and you cannot deal with it, go in a quiet corner,
Right.
meditate, and you will, you know, and reach out to us.
And the good thing is that you have cell phone. A lot of people got cell phone. You can go on
Pick up the
YouTube
phone and listen to
get
some
some nice,
music.
relaxing music.
I've been listening to rain music that makes me fall
Me too,
asleep.
yeah,
So
me
we'll
too.
put up some nice links for you guys to listen to. And hey, I'm hooked on that now. So that's my type of therapy. Music is my therapy, but also the rain music is my therapy. So guys, there's a lots of ways you could deal with stress. Be mindful. Take few words of Mr. Hiram's paper tonight, and let's be a little thankful.
Yes, mindfulness can be a power tool in dealing with various mental health challenges and symptoms, right? That we said beyond exercise. Mindfulness means being fully aware of the facets of the body and mind. This helps to assess intrusive thoughts and emotion reaction. So we said that earlier. Stress and anxiety. Studies have shown that mindfulness therapy is an effective solution for stress management. Their approach works through the focused relaxing of the body and the mind during and after stressful event. So yes, after a stressful event and you go home, like for example in my work, I find a patient dead or anything. It's good to go home and find. I'm quiet when this happens. You go home and you reflect your day. It's good to go try some relaxation therapy. Listen to some music.
And that's how you cope with this, because on a day-to-day basis, working in the healthcare industry, as you said, you're talking to everyone, you're knowing their story, and sometimes it does take a damper on your day. Even though you're having a really good day, listening to someone's story, you know, it saddens you.
Of course. Just a lot of sad stories out there, Shanaz, and that's one of the reasons that I tell people we need to count our blessings and be grateful for the things that happen.
And learn to
You know.
deal with the little things in life, because if you
Exactly
can't
so.
deal with the little things in life, you wouldn't know how to deal with the bigger things in life, like your health. Your health is your wealth. Take care of yourself today, mind and body we talk about.
Yes, and you're talking about small things. Today I was thinking too. I said, you know, Shanaz, if we cannot say thank you for the little things in our lives, we cannot say
cannot.
for the big things in life. So go ahead. And the little things, it's always good to show appreciation and show gratitude. You know what I'm saying? Like I always tell you, thank you. You know what I'm saying? And when you say those things,
And I have to say
not just-
thank you for that chow mein. Kenneth brought me chow mein. So I should say thank you to the beautiful Gita for
Gita,
sending me chow mein.
Yeah,
And thank you to Kenneth for bringing it.
Yeah, I always tell her, listen, when we cook, you know, you come home from work, you work all day, and you just
And run
like,
to the
take
studio,
without any
right?
food and so on.
It's a long day for all of
Long
us.
day, so I
Thank
said-
you guys for joining us here on the Caribbean Voice presentation. Everyone is counting. We have 15 minutes more. Yes, my friends are saying 15 minutes more, but we could learn a lot in 15 minutes. Let's
Exactly.
learn to love ourselves, appreciate who we are, and then we'll appreciate the world a little bit better.
Exactly. So also we want to say about Vinod and his wife Geeta.
Good night to the Angels Caribbean Band, and I saw them last Sunday, I believe. Awesome team. They're always very supportive when it comes to the music industry, and everyone out there. They have a tour coming up. Check it
Right.
out on my Facebook. It is there, and you'll see myself and Mr. Kenneth will be there gracing their events,
Yes.
as they're always very supportive when it comes to the Caribbean Voice.
And yes, Miss Geeta Bisram is our singing nightingale from Guyana. I want to tell you, like I said before, that I saw her sing a couple of weeks ago.
And he was mesmerized.
By our own Geeta Bisram. And you know what? I have to tell you, Shanaz, I'm not.
I have a very good friend who loves the voice of Geeta Bisram. He has a collection of CDs, and
Really?
good night to Johnny, who's enjoying all the beautiful CDs from Geeta Bisram, the Angels Caribbean Band, supporting the Caribbean Voice.
Yes, and it said Bollywood comes alive. Geeta Bisram live in concert at Queen's Park in the park. So what's the date? It's April 20th. at 6:30 p.m. Yes, we'll be there, and I tell you, it was a really, it's $20 for the ticket, and it really
It was
worth
worth it.
every cent of it. And like I said to Vinod, I will go back again just to listen to them because it was a nice.
And as I said,
serene-
music is its own therapy. We all need to get out there sometime and socialize. Whether you don't have friends, it's good to go and sit down and unwind.
Exactly.
Mr. John Hassan Khan, good night to you. And Mr. John Nimmet said he only have 4 hours of sleep, so that is not healthy. Power naps also help you, and it helps you to focus. I know that. Maharani Dubey, thank you very much. She said, how do I get 7 or 8 hours of sleep a night? Please advise. Prioritize, I will say.
Oh, I'm sure you get that 7 hours sleep. You need a good massage or something. You better tell Uncle Ricky to give you a good massage before you go sleep.
And if you can't fall asleep, listen to the rain music as I've been doing.
Yes, and I got to tell you, Maharani Dubey is always a nice and always caring and always,
Supportive. Thank you
Yes.
for sharing. I see Auntie Una just hit share on our Facebook Live. Mr. Shabir Baksh is getting back to our earlier comment when I said getting up on the right side of the bed. Get up with your right personality to greet the world with a smile, Don't get up grumpy, Mr. Shabir.
We want to say thank you, Miss Debbie Sanyasi, for watching in. She said good night, Kenneth. And Shanaz, thank you always for tuning in to us. Did I tell you, I want to say my happy birthday to Jasoda Takordin. She's always sharing our page. Thank you so much. Please continue to support me. I always say thank you to her too.
Good night to each and every one of you. Thank you for bringing us into your living room, wherever you are. If you're in the hospital, locked on to the Caribbean Voice presentation of a mind-body connection every Monday, 8 to 10 p.m. here. 5 minutes of your time could save a life. That is our motto, and you could make it yours.
Yes, and stress and anxiety. Studies have shown that mindfulness therapy is an effective solution for stress management. The approach works through a focused relaxing of the mind and the body and mind during and after a stressful event. We've said that mindfulness practice alleviates anxiety by focusing oneself on your present state rather than worry about the future. And like we said before, think about it now. Don't think what you're going to do
about
tomorrow.
Start thinking ahead about my vacation. You get all that thoughts working up to you, and we're just trying to go one day at a time. As he said, our days are not guaranteed. It's not granted to us. So live one day at a time.
Yes.
And live it to our fullest. And on that note, I'll play one song that I know everyone enjoy, and it's titled All of Me, and I'll give you all of me.
All right.
Beautiful song for you folks who locked on to the Caribbean Voice presentation of a mind-body connection every Monday, 8 to 10 p.m. Suicide prevention is everybody's business. Get involved. If you know someone struggling, reach out and give them some help. And if you cannot provide the help, reach out to the Caribbean Voice on Facebook. Let's go with Mr. John Legend, All of Me, and I hope you'll come on anytime soon. John from Queens, good night to you, and thank you for uploading all the Caribbean Voice videos on your YouTube channel. We are soon to be in Guyana, so keep that coming. Mr. Anand Budram, support his book, Slices of Life,
yes.
because all your proceedings and all your donation and all your support go towards the Caribbean Voice. Big up to King Solomon for shipping our containers to Guyana. A lot of folks are calling in and writing me that they need wheelchair, they need a walker for a family member or a friend, and we will get them to you in Guyana as early as maybe first or second week in March. So keep those comments coming. Let's go with the title for tonight, dedicated to all you wonderful viewers out there.
Thank you so much. Did y'all have a good time tonight? I sure had a good time. It's been so nice hanging out with you here at the Kennedy Center. I want to thank them for hosting us tonight. Thank our friends at YouTube for putting this all together. Is it okay if I do one more song? I want to invite my friend Lindsay Sterling back to the stage. We did a video of this song together. We got a few views for it, you know. A little over 20 million.
This session is sponsored by Med Spa 718-708-1169. Weight loss, body sculpting, cellulite loss, skin tightening, and your favorite facial special. Call them at 718-708-1169. Med Spa, body so perfect. You can have the body you want today.
What would I do without your smart mouth? Drawing me in and you kicking me out. You got my head spinning, no kidding. I can't pin you down. What's going on in that beautiful mind? I'm your magical mystery ride, and I'm so dizzy, don't know what hit me, but I'll be alright. My head's underwater, but I'm breathing fine. You're crazy and I'm out of my mind, 'cause all of me loves all of you. Love your curves and all your edges, all your perfect imperfections. Give your all to me, I give my all to you. You're my end and my beginning. Even when I lose, I'm winning, 'cause I give you all of me, and you give me all of you. Oh, how many times do I have to tell you? Even when you're crying, you're beautiful too. The world is beating you down, on around, through every mood. You're my downfall, you're my muse, my worst distraction, my rhythm and blues. I can't stop singing, it's ringing in my head for you. My head's underwater, but I'm breathing fine. You're crazy and I'm out of my mind, 'cause all of me loves all of you. Love your curves and all your edges, all your perfect imperfections. Give your all to me, I'll give my all to you. You're my end and my beginning. Even when I lose, I'm winning, 'cause I give you all of me, and you give me all of you. Oh. Cards on the table, we're both showing hard, risking it all goes hard, 'cause all of me loves all of you. Love your curves and all your edges, all your perfect imperfections. Give your all to me, I'll give my all to you. You're my end and my beginning. Even when I lose, I'm winning, 'cause I give you all of me, and you give me all and you give me all.
Cause we give you all we got. And this is very nice to reflect on what you were talking earlier about, on our topic about doing good things for your spouse or the loved ones in your life. Will give you all. And it's good to get back all. As you said, love is a two-way street.
Yes.
You give and you get. And a lot of folks want us to recap on our topic about the love and the benefits that you get from being mindful in a relationship.
Yes, yes. I see Nagita Sanyasi is watching from Guyana. You know, Shanaz, I was just looking through Mr. Haroon Abbas, and I'll tell you, it's too long for me to read, but I'll say, always be very mindful of what we say. Always speak with love and respect. And you know, Haroon, that's such beautiful words. I cannot tell you how important it is. Always be kind with your words. And if you be kind with your words, Shanaz, it cannot hurt anybody. We all want love. We are human beings. We love people to stroke us.
And we love love. We love getting spoiled and getting all that attention. So if you love, getting love, you should love to give a little bit of love.
Exactly. So, and Maharani, you can see Shanaz was playing in the background some of the things that we sent to Guyana, and some of the things that you give me. You could have seen them. You can play back and see them in the video, and I would like to say thank you very much. And guys, if any of you have any wheelchair or walker that we can send to Ghana, let us know. Also, I would like to say on behalf of the Caribbean Voice, this is a non-profit organization. If you want to make a donation to this great organization,
reach out to any one of us on Facebook, or you can connect with us on the Facebook group, The Caribbean Voice. Mr. Anand Budram is there. You can also call him 718-542-4452, or call myself. Get in touch with me on Facebook, and we love to hear from each and every one of you. We love your comments, your feedback, and yes, all your donations are much appreciated. We'll let you guys see pictures when it's in Guyana and being delivered.
Hi, Lena from Jamaica. We would like to say thank you for tuning in to the Caribbean Voice, the Mind-Body Connection. Thank you for tuning in. And yes, your brother is doing a great job for the Caribbean Voice. We want to say thank you very much for let your brother share with us all these
platform of suicide prevention. Good night to Haruna Boss, Dear Roy, Auntie Razia, thank you very much. Maharani Dubé, Mr. John Nimmat, thank you very much. Auntie Lena, how are you doing? My beautiful friend from Toronto, Nasima Rohaman, thank you very much. You can always tune in back and hit replay on our program if you missed the first and the beginning of it. Bella, good night to you. Auntie Maharani, yes, we do take clothing, as you see in our video that we aired. It's so many, all those white bags are packed with clothing of all age and sizes. Pampers, Tyran Majamutu, good night to you. Thank you very much for your love and continuous support. And on that note, we'll say time to go to Chutney Glow, guys. Come and support a really good cause, a non-for-profit organization, and that is We Got Aya Back organization. April 27, they're having their show in the beautiful Amazur Concert Hall. Mr. Hiram will be there, and alongside a lot more of the members from Caribbean Voice. I'm urging you guys to come on down. April 27, Amazur Concert Hall for a really good cause. That is a chutney wine. Auntie Line, thank you very much. Joan Collins, how are you doing? Usha Azimola, good night to you. That is one of my favorite songs, so let's take it back from the T.O.P. Lazina Ishmael, good night from Canada. Guys, just message me on Facebook and I'll reach out to you and pick up all your donations to the Caribbean Voice. Yes, we do take clothing. Bella Mohabir, thank you very much. Thank you, Auntie Razia, Auntie Maharani Dubey. Joan Collins says she finally got a copy of Mr. Anand Budram's book off of Amazon. Good night to each and every one of you. Amazura is in April. That is Chutney Wine, a non-for-profit organization also doing great things in Guyana. As we said, it's really good having organizations that's doing something for Guyana. The more, the merrier, as they said. We all have a purpose, and if giving back should be one of them.
Yes, and I know I see Selector Abid just sign on.
Hey,
Thank
number
you.
one DJ in Toronto is Selector Abid. Captain, I should say.
Yeah, and you know, Miss Maharani Dubey, if you need to donate any clothes, you know what to do. All you got to do is call me in because, you know, it's top of the house down again. So don't forget, pack those bags. I know you shop at Macy and it will be good stuff.
Becky, good night to you. Auntie Lene, thank you. Usha, how you doing? I love giving, and every now and then, I should say monthly, I go through my closet because I don't like accumulating things, and I put it to give to, you know, a good cause in Guyana.
Nice.
As right now, you see, I parked up and I had a big bag. I have a big bag in my car.
I see that.
And that is, I already sent 2 containers, 2 pallets, and I'm working on another one for Guyana. The Caribbean Voice. Thank you guys for your love and support.
Yeah, and you know what? One thing, next week we're going to talk about abuse, elder abuse.
Elder abuse.
What I want to do next week too, I want to take a couple minutes and talk about, you know, as parents, what is our responsibility in children? How are we going to build this bridge with our children? Because sometimes as parents, we cause problems too. So that doesn't mean to say that you can abuse your parents, but I would like to be on the wall, on the fence with this, and so we could talk about all of this elder abuse, which is never right, and we can talk about parents, how can you foster a better relationship and bring all your children together rather than having your children fight together.
Right,
okay?
And as you say in Guyana, they're always fighting for property. And mommy's going to give this one this land, and she's going to give this one, and nothing for Jack, and Jack is going to be the one fighting.
Yes.
You know, we're all fighting for material things in life that do not matter. At the end of the day, your health is what matters.
Yes, exactly. So Shanaz, you know, one thing that keep me really grounded in life, I didn't get anything from my parents. I didn't want anything.
You work for it, and it is the greatest feeling to know that you accomplish your own worth.
The other thing is that I know that when the time comes that I have to leave this world, I take nothing with me. I will be going with my 2 hands. So guess what? I'm not going to try to build a big mansion and kill myself. And you know what I'm saying? So live in peace and harmony. Love each other. That's all I can tell you. There's nothing better than love. And always be mindful and practice mindfulness. Until probably next week, Shanaz, you all have a very pleasant evening and weekend. Have fun.
And make the most of your day. Surround yourself with positive friends to empower you. And this is Woman Empower Month.
Yeah,
Good night to the beautiful Bibi Ahmad, a coordinator for the Caribbean Voice in Guyana. And thank you to all the coordinators in Guyana helping with the Caribbean Voice. As we say, it's a non-for-profit organization and everyone is volunteering their time. And time is priceless. You can't put a number figure or a dollar figure on your time. Thank you to my co-host this evening, Mr. Kenneth Hiram, as we start being mindful. A little bit of a thank you.
Yes.
And please goes a long way. Until next time. Go ahead.
Have a very pleasant evening. I see Anand says, Hiram, you got a life from your parents, and I always thank God for that. You know, I had my parents, you know, I am the man who I am because of my parents, if you know what I mean.
They give us life, and that's an opportunity to build ourselves.
Yes, yes.
And it was so silly. I read a post on Facebook who a child is suing his parents for giving birth to them.
Yeah, I saw that. I saw
one.
that. Yeah. I don't know what the world is getting to, but you know what? Let love conquers everything, and then we need to share love, and that's why Shanaz and I are here every week. We want to do this every week so that we could share love with you guys, and we can really to enrich your life just as how we are enriching ours. You know, when we're planning all of this here for you.
And as much as we're sharing love, we feel the love. We're getting back all the love from you guys with your love and comments. Good night to Mr. Romeo Hitlal, Mr. Parmanan Suku, the Justice of Peace from Guyana. Good night to Auntie Maharani Dubey. We love all your comments. Thank you very much, Nasima Rohamad, Bella Mohabir. Thank you. Call us and we will pick up your donations for the Caribbean Voice. Sherry Rahim, good night to you.
And yes, John, please don't stop planning and just send the money, okay? You know where to send it. You can always get on to Shanaz. And Neela, yes, thank you. And take a moment to be very mindful. Thank you very much, guys.
Auntie Una Prasad, good night to you. Very loving. Hey, Fizal Khan, good night. Angela Ramsaran, good night to you. Our donation should be in the chat box, and you could hit on the GoFundMe page. Mr. Anand Budram will be putting up that drop pretty soon. Thank you very much, Auntie Bella Mahabir, Auntie Usha Azimullah. Good night to you, John Nimmat. I read that post also, he said, and he blamed his parents. You could send that check to the Caribbean Voice, and Mr. Anand will post that up pretty soon. Thank you for bringing us into your living room week after week right here on Island Zone Radio every Monday, 8 to 10 p.m. It's your team, the Caribbean Voice presentation of a mind-body connection. I'm Shanaz.
And I'm Hiram. And I'm going to be in Shanaz's pocket all the way. So don't worry, we are not leaving each other, okay?
We are a team.
Yes.
And together, as they say, united, we conquer. Divided, we fall. So, on behalf of the Caribbean Voice, we would like to say good night. Have a blessed and productive week ahead. Stay love and give love.
Thank you very much, guys.